explain it this way. Maybe it's nice. I don't know. Maybe it's nice. Another idea I had was doing like gaming videos. So I like gaming. I think I'm not sure how to figure out like the fan of my laptop not going crazy, because sometimes it goes crazy from running Chrome physics study, which is very cute. So they marry. I think they get a kid very early on. Oh yeah, they get a kid, but the kid gets adopted because they're not married yet. And then I'm not sure exactly. He starts working at like, I think it's like a patent. I think that's the word in English as well. Like I don't know. Like getting officializing ideas for fridges or any other electric stuff. He just gets a job where you can use physics a bit, but it's not his passion. But he gets a job. He works 48 hours a week, 6 days a week. Luckily, he has a wife who is a stay-at-home wife, as all wives were at that time, who can do like his laundry and his cooking, because that allows him to work on this new theory. Oh, remember I said there was energy and matter. for you in the train, you don't know that you're in a train. So that's the assumption. You don't know that you're in a train. So for you, it just looks like there's light traveling from one side of the room to the other side of the room. And it should take just as long for you, like the time from one side to the other, as for someone that's watching from the outside at the train. This is something that's hard to explain without a drawing, but basically, they're saying light moves at the same speed. But the distance of the person in the train, the distance that the light has to travel is different. Because imagine that you're throwing a ball, like from one side to the other side in a room, but the train is traveling in the opposite direction. Then from the outside it looks like the ball is not traveling, for example. Or if you're bouncing a ball or holding a ball still, for you it looks like the ball is still. But for someone on the outside it looks like the ball is traveling. So with the light, it always travels at the same speed. But for the person on the outside, it seems as if the light travels a longer distance than the person inside of the train. For them it travels a shorter distance, but the speed of light is the same. So time it needs to be different for them, like the speed of time needs to be different. So basically that's the like the thought experiment that he thought of that made him think about special relativity. So that's cool. And he did all of this while working a 48-hour job. So that's really cool. And then he published it, and he actually didn't get a lot of attention for it for like 2 years. And then after 2 years he did get some attention. He also applied to universities for jobs with this paper, and they didn't select him for the job because the paper wasn't in the right format or something. So in the end he rewrote his theories into the right format and got allowed in. Well, like right now, knowing what special relativity and in the end general relativity, what an amazing contribution this has been. It's crazy to imagine that Einstein is not getting a job at university after figuring out special relativity. Together with special relativity, he also figured out E is mc squared, which is basically him linking the matter down to the energy down. Because he's saying that, like, if mass is disappearing, there's like some processes in the universe, for example in the sun. It's also how nuclear bombs work, or nuclear energy works that way. There's all kinds of chemical processes in which a little bit of matter disappears, and this matter changes into energy, according to E is mc squared, where c is the speed of light. So he disappeared that together with special relativity. Then after some time he got a job at uni. I'm gonna try to wrap up. While at uni he finally was able to discover general relativity, which because after he matched like energy and mass, it was like, why is there empty space? Why is there matter and energy? And then vacuum. He was like, vacuum doesn't make sense. He also wanted to connect the vacuum to the energy and the matter. And for that he came up with general relativity, which talks about the curvature of space-time. And a nice metaphor that is used for this a lot is, and I'll give it very, very roughly. For example, if you were like a creature that could only see in 2 dimensions, like we see 3 dimensions, to see the third dimension, to realize that you're on a three-dimensional shape. And this is the same with space-time curvature, that we think we live in like 3 dimensions with a time dimension that we we always live in one moment of the time dimension. I have not studied general relativity. I want to, just for like in my free time. I'm gonna do that. I don't know, soon. No clue when. Maybe when there's a course at uni and I'll do it next to my thesis. So I'm not really sure how it works, but basically in general relativity, there's an extra dimension, which, or I don't even know if there's an extra dimension if you need that, but basically it tells us that space-time is curved, just like the 2D surface is curved, and it might be a ball. So that's general relativity, but the formula he came up with, it predicted that the universe expands to become bigger and bigger and bigger, or that it becomes super small. And Einstein was like, oh, that's scary. I don't like that. So in the end he added an extra term to the equation, but he didn't like the extra term, and then years and years later someone else proved that the term wasn't necessary and actually his prediction was right, and the universe was expanding. I'm not sure, it's not mentioned in the book. I think general relativity also predicts that we had a big bang once, because it's like we came from super small little spot and then everything came. But also time is wrapped into that thing, so that's the cool thing. Like, it's not just space that's changing, it's also time that's changing, I think. So basically he added the term and then he got rid of the term, but this is not his biggest mistake. His biggest mistake is that when new young physicists joined the scene, they figured out that quantum mechanics might be a thing, and in quantum mechanics the thing is that you need to accept that the universe is not logical in some cases. That is, no, it's not causal, so cause and effect. I don't know how to say it in English properly. Maybe this is not respected by quantum mechanics. And Einstein loved the idea that everything is explainable, and quantum mechanics is like not accepting that. So Einstein resisted to the idea, and this is where I'm at in the book. And basically Einstein is gonna get very isolated. I'm not sure what is gonna happen exactly, but because he rejects the idea of quantum mechanics, the other scientists start to think he's like an old. They're gonna look at him like he looked at his university professors, like, you're just old, you need to accept the new physics and let go of your old physics. So basically that's it, and I think this is a great time to wrap up. Okay, so it's not that my phone is full, it's that my battery is empty. I'm sorry for the bad lighting and the ugly stuff at the end, but I'm gonna wrap up because it's been enough. I loved making the video again. Thank you so much for watching if you're still here.